things this week are feeling a little meh for Philadelphia as the entire city posts a 7-6-0 record. Two of those wins coming from the Flyers, who also suffered a loss against Montreal. Two of those wins also came from the Sixers, with one loss coming from Portland. The Phillies, they go win, loss, win, a canceled game, and a loss for this past week in baseball, while they are also, at the time of recording, still playing a game. Live score is they are playing Baltimore and losing 5-3 in the bottom of the ninth, and they're beating the Toronto Blue Jays 11-4. The Philadelphia Fusion also had two matches this week, but unfortunately fell in both of them, giving Philadelphia a 7-6-0 record, like I had already said. But we got some stories for you, so sit down, relax, and enjoy this ride on the Orange Line.
Wake up, Philadelphia, and let me hear you sing.
He had high hopes. He had high hopes.
Clap your hands, everybody, for Philadelphia 76ers.
So, hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dr. PhD, otherwise known as Pat Haley, and thank you, as always, for joining the Orange Line. I'm very, 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 very excited today, and I had so much to talk about going into today. I mean, I want to start this whole thing off with a big section talking about Philadelphia Flyers and the Stadium Series against Pittsburgh and the Link and my experience there. I was there at the game. You could have seen me, but then I found out on, I believe, Wednesday maybe, that our boy, the legend, Nick Foles, is deciding to walk away from the Philadelphia Eagles. He's not signing. He's not being traded. They're letting him do his own thing. And I was going to sit here and I was going to talk for, again, a big portion of this episode just appreciating the legend that is Nick Foles, the living legend, and the fact that his career is still going is what I would, be really excited about, but also talking about everything that he did for the Eagles, winning a Super Bowl, the fact that, in my opinion, he is the Eagles' number one quarterback of all time. He is the very best quarterback that the Eagles have ever had. Don't at me on that. But if you do, feel free to do it at Dr. PhD, DocterPhD on Twitter. Let me know what your opinions. Who do you think is the best? But then, no less than an hour and a half before I sat down today, an hour and a half before I turned on this microphone, clicked record, and started talking to you lovely people, the news broke. If you're not aware, the news that I am referring to is who signed Bryce Harper, the hottest free agent on the market this year, going into the 2019 season. It's Bryce Harper to the Phillies. I'm so excited. I'm so happy. I'm filled. I was gonna say I'm filled with excitement. That's pretty redundant. But it's the truth. I'm stoked about this team right now. I am so hot on this team that I feel like it's almost summer, and I can already see the Phillies in number one, the number one spot in the MLB, I should say. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but I'm excited. I mean, it's cool to see my team, the boys, Philadelphia Phillies, pick up a huge star, a huge offensive threat, and I mean, we're going to go into this season looking hella good. Well, I'll say hella good on paper. And I don't want to get ahead of myself. I don't want to count my chickens before they're hatched. But I think this team's looking so good, and the only thing that I can add to that is that they look good on paper. That's the realist in me. Because as I've already seen in in the past year, that a team can look really good on paper. They can look insane on paper. Much like the Philadelphia Flyers were. I keep saying Philadelphia. You guys know what city I'm talking about. But like the Flyers were, going into this season, they looked really good. They looked like they could be a team that could potentially, be a playoff bound team, even upwards to maybe a second round team. I was real hopeful for the Flyers, and I mean, you guys know that I like to be hopeful for all of our teams. Uh, so that's what I'm still going to be with the Phillies, but I do have to be real here. They look really good on paper. Can they all mesh well together? Will the pitching be able to settle down? Will we finally get some stability in the hitting? Lord, I hope so. I just read an article about how the fact that we have Bryce Harper on this team pretty much means that we have the best offense in the entire, uh, NL, in the entire National League, which is awesome. It is so dope. I mean, think of all the star power now. I'm tripping up over my words. I'm so excited. I mean, we have a very decent, a very very decent Andrew McCutchen, who is not the hitting wonder that he used to be. He's still incredibly gifted. He's still really good at playing his position and in the batter's box. But he's getting older. But we also have Rhys Hoskins, a prospect who has really brought me back into baseball. I soured on it for a little there. I mean, we were a team that was really, really good, winning a World Series, to a team that was absolutely awful and just didn't change our roster from that World Series roster. Just because we used it once doesn't mean we were going to get it again. Unless we're talking about 2009, which is all Dan Uggla's fault in the All-Star game. Dan Uggla, if you're listening, I want you to know that I hate you. And, I mean, we went from that team to a team that didn't make the playoffs, couldn't beat some of the other NL East teams, and it's nice to see the turnaround. And I think that all started with Rhys Hoskins. We also have, as reported last week in the Orange Line, JT Realmuto, who is the very best catcher in the MLB. Check that list. And now we have Bryce Harper. And I know it's not hitting related, but we also have Aaron Nola, who is an insane pitcher. I think I said this last week, but I still think he's going to be my next Phillies jersey. The only one I got right now is that Banez. I know I probably should have got someone who was here longer. Shouts to Banez though. But overall, like this team's looking sick. They're looking insane. So it's gonna be fun to watch what they do in the future. I mean, with every step this team takes, I want to see how far they can take it. As for this week, they have a game pretty much every week, every day, except for Monday. We have the two games I already mentioned today. We have the Pittsburgh Pirates on Friday, Tampa Bay Rays Saturday, Twins on Sunday, then the Cardinals, the Blue Jays, the Yankees, and Tigers on Thursday. Not all of them. Cardinals was Tuesday, blah, blah, blah. But Yankees and Tigers are next Thursday. But yeah, it's gonna be awesome to see where the Phillies take it. But we can't talk about them all day, even though I'm very excited about that. There's other sports to talk about. There is the Philadelphia Fusion, who went 0-2 last week, losing 2-1 to Florida, almost being able to bring it back to a map number 5, but just were not able to. Ended up taking a draw on, I believe, map 3, and a tough 3-1 loss against Dallas. They were without. I want to say EQO. I should know this. Ugh, I feel so bad. They were without a player, and they had to make a substitution for Elk, who is taking up the role of Lucio, and he's just not the character that Elk usually means. So it was a little tough for him to get caught up in the meta, which I won't say is necessarily his fault for the losses. It's hard to switch things up like that on the fly. And I think the biggest news in regards to Overwatch is the fact that there is a new character, Baptiste. Looks pretty good from the players that I know who play Overwatch. They say that it could potentially be meta changing, which is fun. I always like seeing something new added to the way teams play a game, or even players play a game individually. So it'll be cool to see where that goes. The Fusion also have a match tonight. I believe they are going to be playing the Washington Justice. You can follow that on Twitch or ESPN3, I believe, which is real fun. So go support the Fusion, keeping that eye on the prize. Hashtag. I was going to say hashtag. The wings are still off. Speaking of Baptiste, dude is absolutely insane in the face-off circle. I actually am looking up right now what his face-off percentage is, because he is insane. I think NLL. No, not NHL. I hate Google autocorrect sometimes because it's real annoying. Real annoying. But Trevor Baptiste, if you're not aware of who he is an absolutely insane face-offer. He pretty much takes center at the start of the game. And right now there's only 2 other people on the team on the wings who have taken face-offs. Their records combined are 1-6, while Trevor Baptiste is 186 to 286, which pretty much means he's close to winning 2/3 of all of his face-offs. If you have a chance to go to a Wings game, which I highly suggest, they're a lot of fun, but if you have a chance, watch specifically the face-offs, because this guy does some insane stuff that I just didn't think he could do in lacrosse. It's really fun to watch. And as are the Wings. Shout out to Matt Rambo, Abington native. And for other sports, Union are getting under the way. They were in an off week in their preseason, who are now going to have their first game of the year on Saturday, March 2nd, against Toronto FC. They're going to be playing at home, so go out and support them. Always love soccer. MLS is it brings that, a European kind of football and sports fan base kind of feel into Philadelphia. I think it's really neat to see that while it is Philadelphia still being Philadelphia, I think the Union fan base is very different in a way from most of the other fan bases. Um, so I think go out and celebrate them, watch them, and enjoy the Union. I know I am. Um, so maybe stick around on Twitter for my live tweets. I'll probably live tweet that game. And now that I said it, I probably have to. You can watch that on 6ABC, like I will. But now for a segue, let's go in and talk about the Sixers. Like I said, they are 2-1 this week. The 2 wins coming over Miami. The last time that Dwayne Wade will be in town, so it'll be it was nice to see that that last send off. I'm still thinking about the future. And we also beat the New Orleans Pelicans. I was gonna say Penguins, wrong sport. But only narrowly. We lucked out with them missing a potentially game-winning 3 at the buzzer, with a 111-110 win over them. Tobias Harris looked really strong in that game. I believe he had 29 points for a game high. And with Embiid out, it's been tough because defense hasn't been as good as it should be. And now with Boban potentially injured as well, which I might actually be behind on, admittedly. But with Boban potentially hurt, I think it could be either a shot in the arm for this team, and they'll be performing pretty well, or it could also potentially be something that could give them a couple of steps back, which I think is fine. I mean, I think we're in a good position as is. We are in a playoff position. I believe, like I saw on the list last week, we were number 4 in the league. But we can actually take a look as is because I have the power of the internet at my fingertips. But I think that this team should still be feeling very good. This team is in a very good position. We have a lot of the pieces together yet. We are currently 4th, 8 games behind the Bucks, which is funny because I remember in high school I would make fun of the Bucks for how bad they were. I was like, I don't know too much about basketball, so I'm gonna make the Bucks my favorite team. Boy, was I stupid. But I think we have a decent amount of room behind us. I mean, if God willing we drop down to 18, I mean the Hornets are 11 games behind us, so I think we'll be all right. I think we'll be okay. And a team that doesn't really have too much going on for it right now would be the Soul. Still in their off season, but fun fact, they tweeted at me. Well, it's because I quote tweeted them, and they were like, "Hey, you quote tweeted our thing. We'll say hi." Well, they posted a GIF, and then they liked my tweet, so that was fun. Shout out to the Soul. I am getting really excited for them because I love the Soul. I've been to many games before. Every time has been fun. It's like football, except everything's tighter, so it's inadvertently more exciting. I don't know. I don't want to hate on football because I love football. But I do think that arena football has a special spot in my heart. I mean, how can you not love the heart and soul of this team, the Philadelphia Soul? As for outside football, the Eagles Still don't really have too much, but like I said, Nick Foles is walking away from the team. Shout out to the legend, bringing a Super Bowl to a very, very, very hungry Philadelphia. I mean, we all know what Jason Kelsey said. Hungry dogs run faster, or something like that. He probably said it way cooler. But that was absolutely the case, as the Eagles just they they were down and out with Carson Wentz. A lot of people were real upset. What are our chances now? Carson Wentz is hurt. We have to have Nick Foles finish out a game against the Rams. Where are we gonna go? We got this guy. He wasn't on our team. We traded him, got him back. Nick Foles with the most improbable leading of a team, not just into the playoffs, not just into the second round, but to a world championship. Now, that's not the championship anymore. Into a Super Bowl. That's incredible, man. I hope I don't get sued for saying the big game, but that's incredible. He thought about quitting football before that season. Luckily, he was talked out of it. But Nick Foles did what so many other Eagles quarterbacks couldn't do. Carson Wentz couldn't do it. Mike Vick couldn't do it. Kevin Kolb. Remember Kevin Kolb? Donovan McNabb. Ron Jaworski. Randall Cunningham. None of them could get a Super Bowl in Philadelphia. But my boy, the man with a giant heart and mind, was able to bring a Super Bowl to Philadelphia for the first time. And then there was this season. He started off the season. Everyone was really unsure of where Carson Wentz was going to be. Whether he was going to start the season, whether he was going to be week 1, week 2, week 3. Maybe he wasn't going to play the season at all. I mean, that's just what I was thinking and what I wanted. But we know that didn't happen. But our boy Nick Foles did start off the season against the Atlanta Falcons in a win, but he didn't look great. He didn't look like he was playing the Patriots. He didn't look like he was playing in the big game. He looked like a quarterback that was out there. Fast forward all the way to the end of the season, Carson Wentz is hurt yet again. We had to call on a legend to help us again. We battled our way to a playoff position with a driven and positive Nick Foles leading the charge, taking us almost all the way there. And I think I'm all right with that. I can take that. Miracles don't happen every year. Well, I mean, miracles happen every day, but not a miracle like that. That doesn't happen every year. I was hopeful, as I am all the time with every Philadelphia sports team, but I was hopeful. I thought our boy could do it. I had faith. And unfortunately, he could not. And, well, that's A-okay with me. He did enough for us. Enough for us to give him our respect. Enough for us to let him decide what his future is going to be. Philadelphia recognized that he is absolutely a top-tier quarterback in the league. We've gone out and said it, but the entire time, in the back of his head, in the back of our head, and even out in public, we've said that Carson Wentz is our future, that Carson Wentz is our quarterback. Sorry, Nick. So we let him walk. We let him go. To let him lead a team for an entire season. To do his job his way the entire season. That's great. I hope the best of luck for this dude. Because, like I've already said, I think he's the greatest quarterback that the Eagles have ever had. He is literally a legend for the improbable run that he had, all the way to winning the Super Bowl, and then almost doing it again the next year. The dude's a legend in my eyes, and I've seen that a lot of other people think he is too. So it's just great to me to see that respect going out to him. Nick Foles, huge shout out this week. Huge shout out this week to you. But let's finish up this podcast talking about our boys, the Philadelphia Flyers. Everyone's our boys. Where are our chicks at? But anyway, Philadelphia Flyers get a 2-1 record this week. They are on a 2-game win streak. Look at that. The first of those wins comes from Pittsburgh. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Sid. We beat them in a thrilling comeback in the Stadium Series, the Coors Light Stadium Series. Hashtag. Not an ad, but really is an ad. Yeah, I think this team is looking pretty good. They've looked good recently. I mean, from mid-January to mid-February, they were the hottest team in NHL. It's still incredible to even just be able to say that seriously. But yeah, they're still playing pretty well. Carter Hart has had a rough go of it, being pulled in back-to-back games, then having it come out that he has a bit of an injury, will be out for, I believe, a little bit longer. I think maybe 3 or 4 days. But Elliott has been very nice to us in his goalie efforts, sticking in there in that Pittsburgh game to get the 4-3 overtime win, and then just doing his job against Buffalo with a 5-2 win. So I think this week has been pretty good for the Fly Guys. As for the Stadium Series, game was insane. The entire experience of it. I mean, I had a great time in Pittsburgh. I mean, I didn't because it's Pittsburgh and that city sucks. But but I think this year it was fun being around people that felt the same way as I did towards the team. It was fun hanging out in the parking lot, tailgating, enjoying some music, enjoying some brews, all day. Then getting to the game, even though it was drizzly, it added to it some way. It felt, I don't know, it felt serious, I guess. It was really fun. The rain didn't take away from anything. It wasn't too bad. The Garth Brooks concert, I definitely could have done without. But I had Mites on Ice literally right in front of me. So that was way better than listening to some dumb country music. Gritty, incredible, as always. And the comeback. The comeback was great. I felt like, that Simmons call, may he rest in peace. I feel like that was kind of out of nowhere, but it seemed like it added a bit of a spark to the Flyers. Then going down 3-1 in the third, I was like, there it is, nail in the coffin. We had, 10 minutes left. It just didn't seem good for us. But with 3 minutes and 30 seconds, I believe, left on the clock, JVR gets a dirty goal. It was not a nice goal. Everything was down deep in the goal. He was able to put it home. But it gave us some life. Jake with an absolutely beautiful Patrick Kane-esque goal from the face-off circle, putting it in between the legs of Matt Murray, and then Giroux scoring a goal that I still feel weirdly about. I don't want to take anything away from Giroux or the goal or the game, but what I do want to say is it was like the worst effort I've ever seen from Pittsburgh. Maybe they just didn't want to play in the game. Maybe I'll say that. It was wet, the puck wasn't moving, but you watch that play and who was it? Kessel didn't look like he was moving his feet and was just kind of throwing his stick out there. Crosby was literally doing nothing, and I forget who the defenseman was. It wasn't Letang, and I don't think it was Rust. It was someone I don't really know, but he kind of pokes at the stick of Giroux, which isn't gonna work if Giroux's just skating up on you. And it seemed like a soft goal by Matt Murray. I don't know. Maybe I'm harping too much. Maybe I can't enjoy it, but the ending to the game felt sullied. But overall, I felt really good. I felt very nicely, and I feel great going into this week. I believe the Flyers have a couple of games this week, or 4. I think they're going for a quattro. They're at the Columbus Blue Jackets tonight. That's going to be a big game in terms of how good this team actually is and getting some divisional points. Then we have the Jersey Devils and New York Islanders, another tough game, and even the Capitals at home on Wednesday. Some tough games ahead of us. I saw a stat that we're 19 games left, and 13 of those games are against playoff bound teams, and we got a road to climb, guys. But I have faith, as always. I believe in my teams, and I think we can get there. Have a good one, ladies and gentlemen. I've been Dr. PhD. Please feel free to share this around. Follow me on Twitter at Dr. PhD, DocTerPhD. Go Phillies, go Flyers, go Sixers, go all the teams. I don't want to go through them all. That's 8, because this is the first and only 8 for 8 sports podcast in Philadelphia. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell anyone that likes sports, and have a great day. It's beautiful out. Have a good week. I'm rambling, but I'll see you next time.